Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So, basically, the first question I want to ask you is, how did you get on this show?
Well, I originally got on the show through a friend. I was on the first season, and that was kind of how I made my introduction into the second season.
Okay. So basically, you knew somebody on the first season, and you kind of guest starred, and on season two, you got your main role.
Yes,
Okay, that's cute. That's cute. All
very
right.
much.
So, was it like
Yeah.
weird with the camera following you full time now, or was it like you was kind of like already used to it?
Um, it wasn't weird. It was new. It was something that I haven't experienced before, where the cameras are just consistently following you. But I've always been in sort of like a spotlight, so to speak. Um, So I mean, I've always had cameras around, but this was a new, different type of like environment, being in front of a camera and having to always be like, give the
Right.
tease or the tease, honey. Like, so now it was just constantly having to give like that all the time it was a little bit different, but it was exciting.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we're gonna get into the drama because I know it's plenty of it on the show. But career-wise,
Ooh.
like, what are you into?
What'd you say?
Like career-wise, what are you into? Like, do you like doing hair? Do you like doing makeup?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a recording artist. I do music.
Okay.
I act a little bit. I model. I like to do activist work a little bit, but mainly music. That's really what my life has been about. I've done it since I was very, very young. I started chasing it professionally when I moved out here to Atlanta. That's why I moved out here. So um,
Okay. And where are
this
you from?
this is straight music for me. I'm from California, from the West
California. Okay,
Coast.
Sally.
Yeah,
Okay.
period.
West
Uh-huh.
Coast. Okay,
Yeah.
I see you. And you say you like doing music. So who's like one of your dream artists? Like who's somebody that you would just love to work with?
I mean, if I could work it, I mean, if I had the chance to work with one person in music, it'd have to be Mother,
Nicki
Miss Nicki
Minaj.
Minaj.
Okay.
Period. Okay. Shout out to
Okay.
Mother.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay, okay. So, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, who do you feel like um was the best dressed and worst dressed on the show?
You said best dressed and worst.
Yes, best dressed and worst dressed.
Ooh. Um, I would have to say best dressed would obviously be me because I give that.
Right.
Period.
Okay. Period.
No, I mean I really give that. I know all these girls gonna get on here and be like, oh no, I give that. No, bitch, I give that. I give that.
You did that.
Down, Fendi. Okay, like I'm the
Oh,
best dressed.
with the
Period.
bag. Okay.
Um,
And who do you
the
feel like was
worst
the
dress.
worst dressed?
The worst dress. Oh, that's horrible. I hate being mean. Let's have to be a main cast member.
No. Anybody that's on the cast.
You what?
It can be anybody.
Okay, I feel the worst dress was
Girl, it's okay. Say it.
four.
Okay. Okay. She was the worst dressed. Her.
You know what?
Don't second guess it. That was the first. That's
So
the first.
honestly, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna throw Hakeem in there. Just it straddles both of them. Like, I'm sorry, it is what
I
it
get
is,
it.
babe.
Okay. So another question. So who's your favorite person in the cast, or who's your non-favorite in the cast?
My favorite person in the my favorite person hands down in the cast would have to be Sherrod. Um,
Sorry, who was it?
Sherrod.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna give one other one, maybe another one, but Sherrod is the first one that comes to my mind because out of everybody in the cast,
Hmm.
he calls me every single day, checks up on me every single day, and really I feel like beside whatever we go through and all of the bullshit, you really care about my well-being a along with some of the other people, but I mean that's my definite like
That's
all
your, that's
season.
your
That's
like the
what I
number one girl. Okay, that makes sense. And what about your non-fave? Who's a girl that just probably like out of everybody on the show, she's just not it to you? Ooh, that was a very hard eye roll. That was a very hard eye roll. Okay, so if you don't want to say her name, describe her in 3 words. I described him in 3 words.
um my least favorite. Oh, that's so like you know what's funny too is because I feel like other people are not gonna have a problem saying who their favorite is, but I will because I don't like my least favorite. That's really hard. Ooh, I don't know why I'm pausing so long. You know what? I'm gonna say my least favorite is, and it doesn't have to be Charlie. And the reason why
Okay.
is because what we went through on this show solely for that, not
Okay.
nothing else. Just kind of what we went through on the show
Mm-hmm.
and how because I have a lot of respect for Charlie, even though we went through what we went through, and that's T. I have a lot of respect. Now, what I say is what we went through. I feel like what how we made ourselves look.
Mm-hmm.
You're my least favorite. That's it.
Okay. Period. You didn't gotta go deeper. Period. All right. So, do you feel like anybody on the show was pump thinking, if that makes sense, like just being extra, not really being who they were? They basically just was turning up for the cameras. And you don't have to say who it is. Just say, do you feel
I
like people?
feel honestly, I feel like a lot of people are like, and that's no tea, no shade. Like, I mean, I've rode by what I say. I'm the same as I am on camera as I am off camera. Like I don't switch up. Like, and
Right.
there's a lot of people on this cast that have done shit for the cameras, and it's like, you know what? If that's how you get ahead in life, and that's how you get somewhere to be who you want to be, more power to you, baby. But I've never not been the same bitch that I am on camera as I am off camera. And I don't know if that's because I come from the West Coast, but bitch, I don't play that shit. Like I'm a real ass bitch, and that's just period. Like
Period. And you feel like certain people is just not really being themselves.
oh, most people, most
Most,
of these
most
motherfuckers,
of them, most of them.
they're all in it,
I
man.
mean,
Most of these motherfuckers, but you know that's just a different topic for a different guy.
girl. Okay, so do you what is I want you to tell me what is the most dramatic event that happened during filming? Like
The
what's
most
a
dramatic moment.
yeah, the most dramatic moment. What's something like out of all the chaos, what particular time was it just like way too much?
I would say the most dramatic moment would have to go along with. I'm not gonna say what happened,
Okay.
but it's something that happened between me and the person that I just said was my least favorite.
Okay.
That was my most like. I realized in that moment, like, okay, anything goes.
Mm.
Nobody's safe. No, like, I
You
thought
was
there
like,
was
oh, this
some
shit is
kind of
real. Now
level
it's
of
real.
like.
But now it's
Now
real.
it's now it's like, oh, okay, bitch. Like, oh, okay. So you guys will see. Like that moment. I mean, it was, if not the biggest, one of the biggest moments in our show. Like, in my opinion. But for that sense, that was the most dramatic moment.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel about fighting on the show? Do you feel like it's unnecessary? Do you feel like, if you have to do it, you have to do it? What's your opinion on fighting on the show?
I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like if you came here with the intention to fight on the show, you're not a star. You're clout chasing. And
Mm.
I feel like you come here to have drama, you're clout chasing, or you're whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, I feel like I don't like fighting. I used to fight a long time ago, and everybody, I could get fucked down from the West Coast. Like I lived a different life. Our lifestyle on the West Coast is very much like I didn't always live to be this or that or famous and this. Like I was just always myself. Like fame and whatever that I'm doing now just kind of came along, like because I was always doing music. I was always in front of a camera performing. I mean, I do a bunch of different like performing arts, like but to fight on the set kind of shows your character. Now, I'm not gonna say something happened with me, but the thing about it is you know, you get pushed and pushed and pushed, and you back a dog into a corner long enough, and they're gonna bite.
They're gonna bite, definitely.
And I feel like a lot of these girls on this show misunderestimated me because I've always been the underdog being out here for whatever reason.
So why do you feel that is?
But I have to show
like you're underdog.
I came out here and it's like, I kind of say with a heavy heart, I feel like our community is our worst enemy in a sense. Like nobody wants the next person to like, you know what I mean? And that's where I feel like it all kind of ties in. And I've always supported everybody, what everybody does. I'm a really good person, and I feel like that's shown through this season too. If not, everybody you can ask people. I'm always there for people. I'm a really good person. So it's like for certain people to say certain things and do certain things, it was like, wow, like, okay, like, but I mean, it was just a lot. You guys have to, when you guys see it all, like, it's all going to come together. It's just going to be like, okay, like.
Okay, and do you feel like you can play nice with some of the boys that you film with, or do you feel like it was difficult to get into an altercation with somebody and then be around them? Kind of like friends like Charlie. Was it difficult for you to be around him?
Wait, say that again? Sorry, you were cutting out. Say that again?
Is it difficult for you to basically like play nice around the cast members that you don't like? Like for instance, when you said you and Charlie got into it, was it difficult for you to be around them, even if y'all fix y'all issue? Like, did you ever feel like you had to be basically like fake? Like, I don't even like these bitches, but I gotta be around
them. No, because honestly, like during the first, it was very much like, okay, well, it is what it is. Like once we got to a certain part throughout the season, I feel like we all kind of came to like understanding of we were in somewhat of a good place that's cordial. We could be around each other, and we can. It eventually got to that. But as far as me having a problem like going around people, I never had a problem going around people because I'm comfortable with who the fuck I am. I know who what I do and what I got going on, and what I got going on has nothing to do with you guys. Because first of all, I'm the only trans woman on this show. I'm in my own fucking lane. Nobody's in my lane. Nobody. You know, so when you bring another trans woman on this show that does music, maybe we'll talk. Maybe we'll talk about somebody else being in my lane or me being in their lane or whatever. But you know what I mean? So that's one right there. Two, like, I've been a boss bitch. I'm gonna keep it real. I've been a boss bitch wherever the fuck I go. I've lived in California, all up and down the Bay, and in LA, been to Las Vegas, been to Orlando, now here. Like, bitch, I've always been that girl. Like, I've always been that. I've always been this. Like, so I'm very comfortable with who I am, and I give that very much. Like, and that's why I'm so loving toward other people. I'm so trying to be helpful because I'm comfortable with who I am. And whatever I got going on, I like to see other people. I don't like seeing other people being brought down. And it was like, so for certain shit, like, that's why I came to a realization. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, well, if you want to take me there, I could take it there too. Like, but I didn't think it was going to ever be like that. Like, but I learned real quick, baby. Oh, no.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
I got to pull out all the tricks, baby.
So I remember you saying that at the beginning it wasn't all that good, but eventually, you guys were able to be cordial. Do you feel like production played a part in y'all having issues? Do you feel like certain situations and altercations would have never took place if it wasn't for production, stepping their foot in?
I mean, I feel like production is production. They obviously are the ones that do the show. So they put us in these situations, but nothing is scripted. Like, it's all just, okay, you go in there, and however we handle it is how we handle Like, I mean, I can honestly say, like, yeah, sometimes it'll be like, oh, I want you to be like this, or I want you to be like that. But at the end of the day, like, we all make our own decision of how we fucking put it out there, how we handle the situation. Sometimes it gets way the fuck out of hand, and sometimes it plays out very nicely. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, production sets it up, but it's up to us to take it however we take it. Like,
so yeah, that makes sense though. So basically, if somebody has acted an ass on camera, it's their fault. And with that, what I was gonna ask you next was, how do you feel like you're gonna be edited on the show? Do you feel like you're gonna like the good girl? Do you feel like you're gonna like the villain? Like, how do you feel like your image is gonna be once the episodes come out?
are you here? Oh, okay, sorry, my phone is cutting out. I feel like everybody's gonna have their own opinion about you, and I feel like all that I've ever tried to do is, I mean, because whether if you be shallow or not, my image means a lot to me, and I don't mean, oh, if I got this and I got that and I got this. No, I mean my image as far as how I carry myself. I don't ever want to look like I'm doing something that's gonna burden what I got going on, or my image as far as, like, you know, the whole, like, for an example, the fighting thing. Okay, so everybody wants to fight and do this, and bitch, nobody's gonna want you around. Like, and I was really disappointed with the situation that happened with me, because it was a big night, and it's like, you know what? You guys not understand that if you guys are such stars and you guys are such this and that, how you guys carry yourself on camera and what you guys fucking say, like, that people are gonna see this, and nobody's gonna want somebody that's fucking like fighting all the time and doing this to come to their show or come do their makeup or whatever the fuck. Like nobody wants to be around that. So, I mean, I don't know. It's very, people are gonna see what they want, but what I gave, I feel like, was different than what everybody else gave. I gave as much as I could of myself. What I gave as a trans woman, to shed a light on who we are, what we go through, my personal feelings, but it's all cohesive in a sense, as trans women kind of live the same life, but we all go through our own experiences. But it's really, I wanted to shed a light on what we go through and what it's like. And I'm really glad that me and Charlie had went through something, because that's not the first person and not the only time that it happens of what we go through. Plenty of straight people do it. Plenty of gay people do it. And it's like, everybody lives for the trans girls, but you're so quick to tear us down at the same time.
Right.
When we're the ones that are out here, like, everybody looks up to us because we're the ones that walk the most miles, like, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is. People could look at me however the fuck they want to, but at the end of the day, like I said, I know who I am. I know I'm a good person, and I always try to put out positivity. And if you don't like me, suck my dick.
Period. Do you feel like your cast members supported you being trans, or do you feel like, you know, it was a division because you was a trans girl?
I kind of feel both.
Kind of both. Like, certain
I feel like I was supported, but I was also torn down. But the people that supported me, I feel like genuinely actually wanted, you know, they don't want problems with me in a sense. You know what I mean? The people that created problems with me don't really give a fuck about what I got going on. They don't care if I'm trans, whatever, this and that. And you know, it's hard for me to kind of go back to saying that I'm the underdog. You know, I'm just gonna throw it out there. You know, I don't have black skin. I'm not but I am, you know, I am Mexican, so I am a trans woman of color. But it was very, you know, it was easy, but it was very hard for me to come into the Atlanta scene and not be a black girl or not be part of the black community because of my skin. And that's why I say I was an underdog, because everybody was so just like, oh, well, who's this bitch? Who's this white bitch? Like, I've literally heard people say that about me. Who's this white bitch? Like, I'm not even white. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, but by being who I am and doing my music and just being, you know, the star that I am, everybody started gravitating toward me and loved my personality and my music and my style. And it's just like, I changed their view on me.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I've never had anything handed to me. I've worked for everything that I've done, even to be who I want to be, which most trans women do. But I had to fight harder to be in this community because I am the way that I am and I look the way that I do. I had to fight for this. Nothing out here was handed to me. I fought for all of it, all my bookings, all of it, everything. Like I had to fight for that and prove, ride hard on my music and do it and do the damn thing and really be, who I wanted to be. Like that's the only way you make people believe in you is by really being who you are. And when you be fake, bitch, nobody wants to fuck with that.
That is true. That is true. Okay. So I do want to ask you one last question. Basically, I just want to know, how was your experience overall on the show?
My experience overall was fantastic. I am so honored and humbled to have had this experience because and for me, this is the thing. Everybody in this cast, which I could say, or out just in general out here, everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to do this and whatever, whatever. And I feel like everybody's hoping they'll get famous and this off the show. I was a star before I came on this show. I'm going to be a star after this show. But what I'm happy about is that I was able to make a difference. I was able to make a difference by shedding a light on who we are as trans women, and that's all that I've ever wanted. Because by making a difference, that fame, and that power is gonna come. I've always had respect wherever I rock, and I rock with respect, not fame, because respect will get you fame. And I'm glad that I got to shed a light on who we are as trans women, and that's all that I wanted to do is at least make a difference. If I could shed a light on one person, I'll have done my job. But I know that it's gonna shed and touch a lot of fucking people. What I have brought, I promise you guys, this is gonna be so fucking iconic. I cannot stress enough how amazing this fucking show is going to be, especially honestly for what I bring, because I try to say like everybody wants to come with drama and this and that. I just really hope that it shows what I brought and giving as much as I gave to this show, because that's all that I wanted was to make a difference. And I'm thankful to the production and the show and just the people on it too, because they were all a part of it that I got to be able to make it. So I'm honored, and it was the most amazing experience I've ever had, and I can't wait for what's to come.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely excited to see you on the show. And I just want to wish you
Thank
all
you.
the best of luck. And I'm really excited. You did a really good job. And yeah, I'll be looking out for you, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye.